Firstly, thank you for accepting my invitation and accepting to be on my show.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. It was last minute, but I'm very excited to be part of this podcast. I've looked at some of your previous videos and podcasts, and it seems like an interesting thing that you've been doing this. And yeah, thank you.
So I thought to introduce you to my audience and tell the work that you are doing and the experiences that you have.
Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Malti, and currently I'm working as an IT professional in one of the defense companies here in the United States, in New Jersey. And I've been working in IT industry for more than 20 years. I've recently graduated from my second master's program in technology management from one of the Ivy League colleges here. Over the 20 years of my time, I've been a software engineer and working for various organizations, commercial to different mission critical systems. Apart from that, I'm very actively involved in STEM. I'm more interested in like kind of encouraging more women, girls, empowering them to and motivate them to take engineering as their career, up in future. And I'm part of public speaking, which is Toastmasters International. So I love to motivate youth and encourage them and enhance their public speaking skills. So, and I have my family. I live with my three kids here, and I enjoy dancing as well. It's my passion, and then I continue learning and teaching Indian classical dance. So, in a nutshell.
Awesome. So can you tell more about the Toastmasters, your engineering career?
Sure. Toastmasters have been part of this club. It's an international club, as you have seen and heard of it. It's all over the world. I've been part of the club for 4 years. Throughout this journey, initially, I started off just like a member, just to explore the club. But then eventually, my interest grew more into it. I've completed two different pathways, and each pathway has been helping me improve my presentation, public speaking skills, take off the nervousness, and how to be able to convincingly speak to audience. And as part of this journey, I've made good friends. Danny's one of my closest friends that you have met as part of the same journey. And I'm actually also encouraging youth because it's very important that communication plays an important role, whether you're working in an IT organization or in any place. Is always um, it is always hard to be able to talk about yourself, brag about yourself, and at the same time be able to communicate your ideas across smoothly. So I think this is a very good platform which can help everybody improve their public speaking and presentation skills. And it's been helpful as part of my regular work, career as well, day-to-day work, speaking with the team members, communicating the ideas across smoothly, and also to senior management. How do you be able to convince something you want them to be able to do? So that's kind of closely tied towards also my work as well. So
So it is interesting that you are into this from long time and you understood about how to convince people and you know how what works to make things possible, right?
correct.
Also, you said about public speaking. So not everybody thinks like us. Not everybody have the thoughts that we have. Not everybody have the ideas that we have. So how you made this possible? How you made people to believe the ideas and the thoughts that you have?
Right. As an example, like, I mean, I've done my second master's, as I said, my main focus has been digital transformation. What is it? What is digital transformation? Kind of like in the technology world right now, every organization needs to move what I call is from a red ocean towards a blue ocean. There's a famous book about it. I just don't have it in front of me. I've been reading it. It's like a blue ocean strategy to be able to untap the market space and make people understand how to be able to convince the business that there's a value add and there's a value proposition towards moving to new technology and transforming the current business. So in order to be able to use that, you should be able to effectively convince. Yes. So the very first thing I think in this process is being able to understand what is the political map, like what's the political terrain, what is the series of that management or leadership I would call leadership roles that each and every individual or personal plays in that political map. So make that map. And then the other thing I believe is team coalition. What does that mean? It means if you are part of that team or that group that's making that change, it makes it more effective. And that, you just don't give the idea and throw it to the team and say, hey, go do it. I need this budget approval to be able to make this happen. Instead, you be part of the team and you kind of prove it or make a prototype of it, show a proof of concept, and then you're being able to be effectively bring that change management. So it's very important, the two things. One, understand who are those influencers in that political map. Try to understand, are they positive influence towards your change, or they're not going to be able to support it? If they are the ones who are able to influence your change, then it's easier to be able to be part of the team and be able to convince. And communication. So that communication, Toastmaster, like that public speaking, the speaking skills to be able to communicate that effectively, it just ties in so together. I hope I made it kind of clear.
Awesome. So why only particularly you targeted the women? Why not men?
I mean, I saw I felt like in my 20 years of my career, I came from India. My, roots are back from India. I came there, I got married. Like after my marriage, I actually pursued my career, which I wanted to do in engineering. So it was hard to be able to, understanding our parents and this, what family background I came from. It wasn't that easy to be able to pursue that career there. So I felt like there is still that inhibition. There are certain myths that women and girls have in their minds when they want to take up engineering as their career. Because at least the two myths that I know about, one, they think that you have to be like engineering is a very hard subject. You have to be extremely great at math and science, and it's not something your cup of tea. So, that's a myth. You just have to be good at it. You should be able to, even if you're good at arts. Nowadays, you see STEAM, right? It's like not just science, technology. It's also arts coming into picture. So if you're good at arts and you have that artistic skills, it's really it's good for engineering and technology careers. And then the other myth that they have is women think, hey, the work-life balance, how do you do that? I'm going to be married. I want to have, family. It's going to be hard to support this kind of hard, sort of a career. So they are hesitant and they think women don't have a social life when you take engineering as a career, which is a big myth. You see my CEO of my company who just like recently changed, but she manages 100,000 employees and she's a woman. She's been my role model and a motivator. So I want to be able to clear that myths to any girls who are thinking, I have a perfect social life. I have a work, if you prioritize and manage it, organize and plan it better, it should be easy for you to be able to handle it and balance it effectively. So as I said, like I have 3 kids. I'm a dancer, I have a party social life, and I am engineering. So I want to be able to I guess, share that message across, saying that, these are the myths. You just have to clear those myths. So I think that's why I'm like more towards like focusing on women and young girls who are like right off college, right off their high school. They're hesitant thinking about. So I do go to high school students and I actually have conversations. So this is what I do as a part of a STEM volunteer. So it's kind of very important to take that inhibitions and just to grow a technology career. It should not be that hard to be able to balance and manage.
So like you said, you go to them and you try to understand them. You try to tell what works in IT
Mhm.
industry, and you tell how communication plays major role in this industry. So what are the things that you observe, because they are not matured, but they don't have the industrial knowledge. They are just into the studies, just came from the school level to
So
this level, so they don't know what exactly works, and they don't know how the things are going to work.
be
So
prepared. Mhm.
yeah, so how the beginners, they are completely beginners. So what do you tell? How do you tell to them?
So just to clear that again, you are not alone in anything you do. So when you're working in an IT company or anything, you're not alone. You're always working as a team, right? So you're not like left alone to do things all by own. Nobody does that anymore, right? So in that team, do not hesitate to ask and learn. I think that's the key important thing that I would just tell them is like nobody is perfect in anything. Everybody learns through the process. As I said, like at this age, at this point of my life, I'm still doing my second master's. I just graduated. It's kind of like it's just a never ending thing. Learning never ends anywhere. So through the process, do not hesitate to ask anything. No question is silly. No question is, of any less value. And if you have an idea, it's important to share across that idea. A lot of the times you have an idea deep within and it just like stays there forever. So I think it's very important that they communicate that idea without kind of, again, it could be accepted, it could not be accepted, it could have been a silly idea, it's okay. But you just don't hesitate to ask. This is something I would just say, and then continue looking for advancement or enhancing skills. And the other thing is, once you're right off school or even a graduate as an internship coming to my company and working, there's tons of opportunities. There are what we call like a rotational opportunity. Try to take an advantage of those opportunities. Like just giving you an experience is like, hey, I'm not interested in doing like project management. I want to do more of like software engineering. Hey, I'm not interested. I want to do systems engineering. Like, I mean, you have like tons of those opportunities. So kind of explore and learn through the process. I think that's what it is. It's more important. And then as more and more you do that, the more and more you develop the network, and then you understand what's your more stronger strength is in, and then you kind of continue in that direction.
So students, they come from different backgrounds, so they have different ways of communicating with people, and they have different thoughts that they express in different ways. So not everybody expresses their thoughts and their ideas in the same way. So what exactly that works to make to establish communication between the team members and convince them, and what exactly should be there? What are the qualities that every individual need to have in order to uh, uh, make communication better and maintain good relationships and with people?
Right. It is all about your confidence. I think that's where it is. You are confident about what you want to ask and what you want to speak about. I think it is more important. And then the other thing is, as I said, do not hesitate and, in thinking whether it's a good or a bad question to ask. I think that should just come out of your mind, the very first thing, once you're a part of it. And the other thing is like your body language. And also, effective listening is the key. You're not always like, I think you need to first kind of give yourself the opportunity to listen. It's very important. Take that constructive feedback when someone like an SME or a senior person is giving it to you. So I think it's very important to be able to evaluate yourself and receive that constructive feedback and then incorporate that in the next time you're actually kind of giving your next presentation or giving your next, either a pitch presentation or anything. So I think those are my key things is basically do not hesitate again. And importantly, use your body language. It's very important in public speaking. I think they say like when you interaction is more important. You make them be part of your conversation. If you do not see that happening in the first, I think it is like 5 seconds, you lost it. You lost that interest. So that captivating the first 5 seconds when you're giving your first presentation or, trying to communicate your idea, how do you grab the audience's attention? What is something that they're interested in looking into your idea? What is there, like if you are giving a new ideas presentation, an innovative idea, Okay, what's the ROI? Like, what are they looking for? Figure out what that key thing that they're interested in listening into. So I think finding that out, making sure you have that in the beginning of your thought process to be able to communicate, and then using your body language effectively, and also listening what they're and receiving and being able to perceive and listen to that feedback is more important. So I think putting all this together, I think that'll just be, I think that's when you'll be able to give effective, presentations and convince someone to into your ideas and be able to communicate well.
So you're into technology from long time, and you know how you have seen the change that is happening in last few years, or in, and I think from 2015 to now 2021, there is a lot of change in technology. You have seen this growth, you have seen this change. So how do you see this transformation? It's when you have when you was a graduate student,
Yeah.
the technology was different, but today it is
Mhm.
completely different. The information technology have changed a lot. So uh,
Yes.
around the planet. So how you are experiencing this?
It's a big, I mean, it's a not even a big is not even the right word. It's like a whole 360 degrees transformation is what I call. It's like, you started off somewhere here, and then now it's like we're talking about solutions in cloud, somewhere like monolithic, like, standalone applications to, distributed, and, somewhere cloud based, virtualization, all these terminology. I mean, like that's a very big, especially in like the pandemic for the past 2 years. Think about schooling, education, my own like master's, as I said, like I've done like 3 semesters completely on Zoom. So I mean, where was I? I was like in college attending day-to-day classes in person, and then we're like all virtualized. Everything is so moving. We have like robotics everywhere, like, robotic process automation. So what is this doing? It is a little worry because you're digitizing everything, right? So it's kind of a little, it worries me because first there are advantages and disadvantages. Like, the best part of it is this error prone, right? And it's all automated, right? Everything is automated. So it's like saving you cost, I believe, saving you time, productive, and I like it. I like that idea. But on the other hand, it's creating this sort of an inhibition that menial labor, not in the sense like manual, like people who are used to do like these day-to-day data entry sort of a job, all that's kind of slowly diminishing. So you're kind of creating what I call as a digital labor, right? More with robotics, automation. So it's kind of worries. And then the other biggest challenge is security. It's like how much of this is secure, like on the cloud. So it's kind of like all the data protection, data privacy. It's, as I said, like it's just both ways. I know we're advancing to, a greater, technology and advancement, AI, ML, predictive analysis, like a lot of buzzwords and a lot of advancement. But on the other side, I'm just worried about imagining a robot operating on a body, like, taking over a man and like doing a surgical procedure. It's kind of scary. It's like you're investing your life into a machine, kind of. So kind of worried. So I'm not sure if I can answer the question very well, but it's just it is scary in some, even though I am from a technology background, I myself worry in some cases. But then the other side, if I look at it, for me, when I started my engineering, I only saw a few varieties of engineering. Right now, when I speak to girls or kids who are taking up engineering, I'm looking into engineering like forensics engineering. Like, I've never heard of that, forensics engineering. It sounds very interesting. It's like investigating, like why this bridge, collapsed. It's like investigating. It's another angle to engineering. So there's like so much advancement in technology, especially also in engineering, biomedical, biochemical, like so you name it. So I really like that, new way of thinking and the innovative technology. And but just some parts of it still think it's still a machine underneath. It could break any time. So they should be like hopefully, a mix of both. It should not totally take over us humans, is what I'm saying in a sense. There should be a balance. So I hope
Wow.
that's where we stand, even like further 20 years down. I hope that's where we stand. I don't want no robot take over my life. That's kind of worries me to one
So,
extent.
what is a person before engineering and after engineering?
I'm sorry?
What
Which,
is a person before engineering and after engineering?
what is a person?
Yeah, I mean, a student or a human being before engineering, what is his or her mindset, or after completion of the studies?
Um, I guess before engineering, it's more like, oh, how do you, I think they're not critical thinkers. They're not very good problem solvers. After engineering, you understand how to think critically, how to analyze critically. So I feel like they become strong problem solvers. So they kind of, before engineering, you just think in one way. After engineering, you have multiple ways to explore and think. I think that's the major difference. You kind of analyze problems in a different perspective. It gives you that opportunity to think about it and look into it in different ways. So I think that's the biggest advantage of before and versus after. That's what I was. I know how to write a C code, how to write a Java code to solve one way, like a an algorithm. But then after engineering, after I'm studying more, I know now multiple ways how to solve it. And then there's a better way to be able to do this, same thing, resolve it in a better way. So
So, what do you say about this blue ocean or strategy?
yeah, so the blue ocean strategy is like it's like you think about it, for example, like any organization, they want to be able to, for example, I'm talking about um, for an example, like a pharmaceutical company or like even simple Microsoft, just take it as an example, like so if they wanted to be, or even like your phones, like Apple phones or iPhones, whatever, like just take that as an example. So they, instead of like, how did they come about, so there's this big, what I call is like the ocean, where all the competitors, like all the mobile companies, everybody's competing to create this, want to jump in and like have this better deal for customers, like this mobile package plan, data plan, this plan, all these competing new products, Samsung, Apple, all these phones, right? That's all like red ocean. It's like everyone is beating each other in this competitive world. Blue ocean is, how about I find this new market space, this untapped market that nobody ever found it? I'm gonna start working on this new product. Like as I said, like Apple introduced iTunes, right? It took over like iPods, like what you had, right? So it was something totally a different, innovative idea, enhancing your whole experience of downloading books, music, like how do you tie like cloud-based, it's available for everyone. So that the concept, that idea where nobody has yet reached out, that's kind of like moving towards the blue ocean strategy. That's called like more like a blue ocean strategy. So you're trying to work towards an idea or an innovative solution in an uncompeted market space. So for any organization, as they are kind of working towards their day-to-day deliverables and their products, they always have to think strategically into like tapping or working towards something innovative on that. So that's kind of You suddenly don't want to just go like create this. You want to be able to find what that market space is. What is all the products doing out there? See if it is the one which is less, like not less, but it's not competitive yet. That's where you kind of, and that's where you rule the, rule that space with a better idea and an innovative. So you need to have a plan as a team to work towards that. So that's what each organization should be doing, rather than, hey, just because this Apple, let me go launch another, another version of iTunes. And no, that's just again competing in the same, market space. That's not what you want to do. You want to think about something different that nobody yet else started, and that's how all these big companies like Tesla, like all these, hybrid cars and all, like that's how they come into it. They're all like blue ocean strategies. They kind of think about this untapped market space. So that's the transformation. That's how you try to make use of new technology, somewhere like bring in, some advancement of that business process and some transformation which can add bigger value. So that's a good way when you're trying to kind of, as it like want to make more ROI, more revenue, and more growth in a company. You want to be able to, you should be thinking of that.
Can I say understanding the human basic needs and the communication between people and and the relation, the connectivity between people. I think all this, if you see as a whole from the top view, from the planet, I think the blue ocean strategy that you said, I think that is possible because the companies that you have mentioned, Tesla, I think SpaceX, and a
Mhm.
boring company which is underground uh, uh, traveling. So all these ideas are coming from out of the box. So you are
Right.
saying that you are saying that we should not think in the same way like everybody is thinking. We have to think in the way that what
Not
exactly is important.
correct. And as I said, I mean, I know the company wants, say, one X company came up with this hybrid car. So the Y company doesn't need to go think about the same building of X, company type of a car with slight variation. Not adding any value. You know what I'm saying? What can bring value much different, much innovatively, much, something nobody tried yet is what you want to look for in a longer term. Again, it's not going to happen in a day's, worth time or two. So it's like just because X started this, why should not invest their time and money and resources in building something similar to X's is what my thought process is. They should be totally thinking something else. I know it's going to be a longer term strategy, but eventually it'll bring more value. So then eventually X's will come down and you'll have something totally different idea, which is kind of like, so I think it's very important to have that, as I said, like communication of that new ideas. If someone is really into that technology, has that creativity, engineering and technology is their go-to. Find it. I mean, again, as I said, you don't even have to be just good at, you can just be good at science and math, understand what it is. You don't need to be like great. That's where the myths are. So I want to be like, I'm not saying men are not creative or anything. I'm just saying that just to take off that inhibitions, and if you have those good ideas, strong ideas, find a way to pitch them. As you said, like you could be standing in an elevator, they say elevator pitch presentation with the CEO of a company. You should be ready to be able to pitch that idea. You never know when that opportunity knocks your door. So this Toastmasters communication skills, public speaking skills will help you prepare for that next opportunity that could come to you. Right?
So I totally agree, and I totally connected with what you said. Because of the people having the mindsets like you have, I think a lot of creations that we are seeing today and a lot of devices, whatever the innovations people are using all around the world because of the people who are thinking like you, I think. So I think you people want to be the exact definition of different, which means different means something that you have not seen before, you have not heard before. It should be something that is
Unique.
completely unique. Unique. You're saying that is for the first time.
Yes. I'm sure everyone has that tinge of that uniqueness in them just to be able to spark it.
Okay.
That's all it is. And again, as I said, like just share it, but share it such that someone can understand that effectively and work with it. Like I have something in my mind which has been there as my nonprofit idea, but I just need to be able to like kind of work to be able to make it happen. So it'll come when it time. so, so
Awesome.
cool.
So, and also, can you say about change matter, change management and digital transformation? You
Yes.
already said. Can you elaborate it?
Yeah, sure. So what is change management? As I said, like there is like so when I said like some one like the organization wants to move from X way of doing things, business, to advanced way of doing the same X functionality. So you're talking about the whole business process transformation. So in order to be able to do it, it's what it is it's a change management. How do you manage that change from being able to go from a current state of the way you are doing things to a future state? What is your vision to come there? So that whole process is managing that change. So initially you come up, as I said, like you have this innovative idea. And first you want to understand what are the current pain points of your customers, and from bringing that change. Why do you want to bring this change? Because the customers are unhappy with the way we do the current business. Identify those pain points, identify those business use cases. Then, as I said, you want to create a charter. You want to be able to create a charter, more like a small mini organization with a team of innovators, like these team who have this knowledge of all advanced technology. Find that blue ocean strategy, make that blue ocean strategy plan and prioritize. Then you need to convince in that change management process the management or the senior leadership to approve your change, right? And then once you have a whole plan, you go through the whole life cycle, you have a team, you implemented a prototype, you built it, release it, develop it, you demo it, you present it, right? Once that's done, now it's like, hey, now we're going to roll this out and everybody's going to start using this new way of doing this business. From that current state, we move to the end state. But in that change management, you need to train people. How do you adopt to this new way of doing things? So that's the last part of the change management. You need to have so this whole entire process that I talked about, the steps within bringing or moving, transitioning from the current to a future state is a change management. So those are like some of the steps of that change management. And the last, as I say, like is adoption. You need to put in training, capability. You want to explain that, hey, it's not, as I said, like some could introduce digital labor. So you want to be able to convince your employees and say, like, this is not something threatening you. It's not going to take you off from your regular job, right? It is something for you to focus on high valued tasks. So how do you kind of train the mindset of people? So those are organizational level of change management. So that at each steps, there are different phases of that change management. So those are some parts. That's kind of what I call the change management. And as I said, the two important things are one, you need to be part of that team, like team coalition. If you're not part of the team, you're not able to drive that change. And then the other thing is convince and identify who those influencers are when you're at that time of finding the approval to be able to implement that change. Did I make it clear?
Yeah, I have a question from the
Sure.
explanation of yours. So, adoption, yeah, you mentioned one of the key points in making this possible. I think so. Having a blank mind and having no expectations and seeing and taking what it is and how it is. I think Is that the best? I think that is that the best way to observe and absorb things and get be part of the change, like you said, change management, because where you started was a different point, and where you are going is a different point, and all the points from 1 to 100, if it is this change. So every time you're seeing something which is completely new, and you have to be ready for the new, and
Yes.
you have to be you should not
Adapting
put.
to that change, right? So
Yeah.
you need to have a process. You cannot just throw, as I said, like, hey, somebody, everyone were used to doing the current, business in a certain way. Now you're telling them to use like these set of big technology and advanced technology, and you do it in a different way. So it is hard. So instead, you need to work that adoption of that change as well through this whole process. So you need to train them, as I said. They need to understand. They need to be the stakeholders, the employees, everyone who's involved, who's going to be part of that business process, need to be involved from the starting, its current state to the end state. So it'll be easy to adapt to that new change.
So I hope everybody who is listening to this understood what you said. So at last, tell me about one of your ways of expressing your views and your thoughts and your emotions, which is dance.
Yes, so that is something I'm continuing to do. Thank you for asking that question. I love talking about it. It's been my interest. What I believe is every person, the creativity and that focusing comes through a form of art. Whether someone is interested in writing, someone is interested in singing, it can be any soft skill. And someone is interested in dancing. So it just, I feel like it is, not, I don't call it a stress buster. I more call it as an energy booster. It gives me a positive energy. So every time, I've been learning this for more than 8 years after my marriage, after my kids. So, and I still continue learning. I'm part of a dance performing company here in Philly, and I'm actually dancing and still continuing to teach. So it just kind of like energizes. So, and this is an Indian classical dance, and it also, I think, adds the other part of my thing, that expressiveness. I think that's what it is. It goes together with the way I express. I think that hand, and then the movements and the gestures, the body language, the gracefulness, the composure. I think it all comes through that. So I have again a similar closer connection from my dance into this. The discipline, I think that's through my form of art that I'm learning, which is Indian classical dance. So Bharatanatyam is what I'm learning and teaching.
So it seems like you're a very intense person while communicating with people, or while expressing the viewpoints that you have, and the I think you have another planet in your mind. I think that is why the reason you have a lot things to do and want to create effect you in your own style. I think I can also imagine the effect that you can create using the, the movements that you have, which you are one of the expressing medium called dance.
Sure. Yes. As you said, like, this is my time. I want to be able to give back. And I feel like I'm, I know I want to create an impact. That's true. And I think you giving me this opportunity to be able to spread my message and the connection between how I pulled in the, effective communication skills through public speaking, Toastmasters International, and then also my dance. And then the other biggest thing is motivation. I want to be able to motivate more and more, people, again, not just taking the technology career, but also like, thinking how important communication is to anyone. Everyone, as I said, has that small spark in them, just need to ignite it. And I think That's what I want to be able to motivate if I can.
So tell me about the contribution that you're going to give to this planet until the day you be alive.
um, the way I want to be able to contribute is um, be able to leverage what I've learned so far and kind of create an impact. If I'm able to motivate 10 girls, to take up a career in engineering, that's kind of a satisfaction to me. If I'm able to spend a decent amount of my time, I spent like 6 weeks of my summer with the YLP Youth Leadership Program session, just teaching 9 to 12 years kids public speaking. I mean, that gives me personal satisfaction. Amazingly, they have brilliant ideas and their impromptu speaking skills, they are not nervous. So in that process, for me, there's an advantage too. I'm learning through that too. I'm learning some of those ways that they are using to be able to communicate as well. Their public speaking skills are extremely good, some of the kids. The speech topics they're picking, just giving you new ideas in yourself too in that process. If I think that ultimately is going to give me satisfaction. I'm this far away, but the most important thing I want to be able to say is I want to stick to my roots, the culture and the background where I'm from. So that I think through DMs, I still want to be able to communicate that. So the reason I'm also still continuing to teach and perform is I want to be able to everyone understand like how important it is and what advantages. So I do dance workshops, and then I teach all of the kids here, like I teach fusion, like Bollywood, hip hop, what for kids. But at the same time, I tell them, teach them about classical dance, the value add. So I feel like in a way, I want to be able to kind of stay close to my culture and background. And this is a good platform to spread that message as much as possible. If I can motivate more girls, more people to take up that dance form, as an art form and public speaking. And then I have my old students coming back and interviewed me the other day. It kind of felt nice that you were able to have that impact on someone. So I think that just ultimately is my goal. I don't have a per se to reach a certain number to impact people's life, but if that kind of can create a positive experience and stay connected, I think that's good enough for me.
Awesome. So last, a few words about the change.
uh, Change, to change something.
Yeah, I think the only thing that is constant in the world is change.
Yeah, so change, as I said, it's kind of scary. So and you want to be I think as your life on this planet, you want to be an important part of that change, whether it's a positive, negative. So you cannot stop the change from happening. You have no control over it. But can you let that change control over you? No, I don't think you should. You still need to be what you are, believe in what you are, but definitely use that change to create a positive impact. That's kind of what my message is. So you cannot stop the change, but kind of mold it to be able to kind of create a better change if possible.
So, and also, what do you say to the people, especially to the women who are coming into IT, who are taking engineering, who are coming into engineering and have know nothing, but they have this passion to do. Everybody is doing engineering, so have to do it. So, what do you say to those girls from who are watching and who is listening to you from anywhere on this planet?
I want to say first, if you first be thankful. Honestly, be thankful. I think your family, friends, they are the greatest support. So when you have the opportunity to leverage that, take it. Take that support and then take that next opportunity to jump into this. Do not hesitate. If there are any myths, I'm always there, or you can ask me, or however you want to reach, but definitely look at role models who can inspire you more. Be, create that motivation. And just, as I said, you don't need to be a superstar in order to take up that engineering. Just be yourself. And if you have that ideas, just don't bury them in. Just come out of that shell. And then I think speak up. That's all I can say. And you learn, and I think the path will come and you'll learn your way through it.
I'm sure because of the words, the effective words, the impactful words, and the way you expressed your experience and your viewpoints on different things, I'm sure people who are listening, especially from the place where you're born, and also people who are from different places of this planet, if they're listening to you, and I'm sure there'll be some change in their way of doing things and way of creating things or learning things and how to adopt to the new things, like you said. So I'm sure your contribution is a lot to me and to everybody who spent their time to listen to this and who watch this. And I'm sure in coming days you're going to do wonders with the way of thinking that you have. And thank you
Thank you.
for thank you for
That's
giving
very
me
useful.
opportunity. Thank you for giving me opportunity to talk with you and ask you questions and know what you think about the world and what do you think that is working to make things possible. So, and
Thank
also,
you. Mhm.
what do you say as an observer, as a person who is into IT from long time and have exchanged words with a lot of people and made things possible, have involved in a lot of projects and in a team. So, what do you say about me talking with different country people who are into different professions and also who are into IT for 20 plus years or 15 plus years? Me talking with them and trying to create an impact and putting it on the public platforms, social media. So, what do you think the change that I'm doing, and what do you think that is working to make this possible? This talking with two different people who are into two different professions and from two different countries.
I think you are doing a great job. I mean, as when I notice some of the different, the speakers and interviewers that you had, they are from different areas, as you mentioned, right? They're not just one, type of ones. It's kind of, and then it is giving a very good platform for anybody for you also, especially to make that networking. It is very important. Networking and sharing and learning from each other, it's kind of very important. So while I'm watching somebody else's, speaker series, I mean, I've never had experience in understanding that topic. So I think this gives a better view, again, a different perspective. And I think it's a very good one-stop shop. I would call one way to compile and having a one platform where all of these are made available. So I think that's a very good idea, something different and unique. So which is adding a lot of value to each of us and as well as to you too. I'm sure you made through this journey a lot of contacts yourself. So, I mean, I wanted to ask, so what is your goal in through this journey? What is that one thing that was being giving you the satisfaction of, if I may ask?
Yeah. So I I want to the number of people who are living on this planet is very big. So I don't know whether I am able to connect and communicate and can know what they are doing in their lives and their experiences, know their experiences. So before knowing them or before understanding their experiences, before listening to them, my thinking was different, and after listening to them, my thinking is different. So what I understood is the problem that I'm facing are very smaller than the problems that are already there are already people in somewhere on this planet experiencing different things and I don't need to feel low. I don't need to feel sad. I don't need to pull myself down just by thinking that I'm less. So by knowing all the perspectives made me to come out from the negativity and the negative energy that I used to have. And to the audience, they are seeing, they are knowing different great professionals like you telling about their life experiences and telling what is working in the industry and what is creating change and what is creating impact and what how actually the things works. How all these inputs are making them to think and learn and change themselves. And I feel very proud to be some change on this planet, and I'm trying to do that, and I think I'll do that like you are doing in your own style. I'll do it my own style.
No, that is true. You just hit the point. You are like kind of one of those, as I said, like key players of that change, bringing that change. As long as it's more like a positive, as I said, like it's more like a creating that positive impact. You need to continue through that journey, which you're doing, seems it. So, which is good. And I'm glad to be part of that chain as well.
So, do you provide any service like you said you are into dance, and do you have any websites or anything that you want to share with my audience?
I mean, I used to work for a dance school, but I'm just doing it on my own. And I mean, I have my contact details. I'm just very local in New Jersey, but then I'm part of a couple of dance companies, which I can definitely share. There's one in Philadelphia, as I mentioned. There's one New Jersey Arts Council as well. I kind of also I'm involved in their like apprentice and like as I said like dance workshops. So kind of if anyone's interested in that side to be able to be part of that, or even to you know join me along with me in my thing, would be happy to share that information. And if there are some opportunities where I can reach to more communities and people, that will be also a good means. And then the other side, public speaking, I am the club president for my local chapter. I am also the area director for a district 38 and area 43. That's what it is within Toastmasters International. And if anyone's kind of within that area who want to be part of, or do you even want someone like me to be a mentor or a coach for a club, I would be very happy to volunteer my time and help out. Also, youth as well. There are, youth or young kids or young students who are motivated and are interested. I can always create a small club charter and be able to pull in my mentors and pull in a youth program together. So there are different ways. If there is some way I can be able to help and contribute, I'd be happy to do so. And like I have a couple of I think I did one podcast earlier with like more focused on women in engineering, my personal career journey and how I was motivated to take up engineering. I can share the link of that, and just to be able to, someone has those myths. I mostly talk about that. Is like, what are those myths that most of the girls are hesitant to be able to take up a career and pursue engineering career? Why? And how can we help? Like, how can I clarify them? Like, so.
So your message to Hyderabad, where you have born.
As I said, like I want to stick to my roots. That's why I said, like the moment you said that, I'm not that happy that everything was split, but it's okay. 20 years ago, it wasn't like that. So, but Hyderabad is still Hyderabad. A message to them is, we are the most I would say lively and smiling and happy people. And I would say continue being that. And I'm very excited to be part of Sai's podcast. And if it can reach most of you. And then I just want to say, stick to your roots, believe in yourself, do what you want to do, and do it with confidence. That's it. Thank you.
Your smile is really good. So,
Oh, no? Oh, okay.
yeah.
Thank
And
you.
Thank you again, Malti, for giving me your valuable time and spending your valuable experience and valuable words with my audience and to the world. So, can I put this video and audio clip on my YouTube channel with your permission?
Yes. Uh-huh. So is it going to be like the entire thing, right?
Yeah.
Sure.
So, can I also put this audio and video clip on my podcast, website, social media, internet, everywhere with your permission?
Yes, and I can also share to my, friends, family, and I want to be able to also put it on my LinkedIn profile too.
Awesome.
And
Thank
that's
you
a good
again.
way for you as well to have that professional connection.
It's a great thing for me. I can show to people that I did a interview with the person who is into IT from long time and who is into different positions, and I can able to grab some information from her through the the questioning ability that I have.
Thank you. Thanks.
So yeah, anything that you want to say, last?
No, I just wanted to say thanks again. And I know if it was a last minute thing, but thank you again for giving me this opportunity. And if you have any questions or any further, information, I'll be happy to share.
So thank you again. Now, can keep going, keep doing what you love.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.